What alert though? Can we... Oh, both of them are expecting offspring. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode of Planet Zoo out here in the beautiful Maple Leaf Wildlife Park for another good time in our zoo. We did finish off the last episode having a bunch more things ticked off our list. What is wrong with this guy? Oh, he's got... it's a souvenir! Look at that! Oh my god! What a crazy hat you bought there, mate. Is that something that we sell in our park? We're gonna have to check that out in a second. But we took care of a few important things in the last episode. You know, we rearranged some of the staff things. We got some more staff. We got some paths going. Unfortunately, one of our wolves died. We also had a baby bear being born, though, which is absolutely awesome. We got some more friends for these guys down below, and... well, took care of a bunch of things that way and hopefully kind of improved on the whole park management part of things now. And in theory, we were only selling balloons, so I'm really wondering where in the world the guy got his funky hat from. I don't see anyone else running around with these, so... quite interesting, I'll have to say. But, well, one way or another, we also had this kind of incident where, you know, our bisons... in quotation marks escaped just because I moved the gate to allow quicker access for the people taking care of them, but well, that kind of resolved itself. Now we've got one alert out here apparently. I'm not quite sure what that alert is supposed to be. I'm not sure. We are a bit low in feeder capacity it seems, so we probably want to get another one. What alert though? Can we... oh, both of them are expecting offspring. Both of our female bisons are expecting to have small bison kids eventually, which is awesome, which is beautiful. I'm going to increase the feeder capacity in here real quick, though, as I just saw that. So let's go and grab one of these food trows. Is it a large one? I guess it's a medium one. We'll put one more right here, and that way that should hopefully be fine, and we'll get more food in there, and... well, hopefully that's all going to develop nicely. Now, what we still have going down here for a start, maybe, is our animal research, I would hope, because we do indeed need a few more items, and it does appear as though the research for the bisons has completed, which should mean that we have some more enrichment items for them, which should be very nice. That also means that whoever's researching this, which is Mary... we're going to move her over to the grizzly bears to get that to level 2, get them some more enrichment items too. But that's hopefully going to be kind of nice, because I would then like to make our bisons' lives a bit better and actually improve on their happiness a bit. So you can see right here they're missing all the food enrichment because we did not have any food enrichment thus far. It's also apparently an interspecies bonus, I don't know which... species we can have live with them, but we're definitely going to work a bit on that enrichment real quick. So let's go to habitat items, let's go to enrichment items, and what was it? Was it like food? I already forgot. I'm doing great right now. Sorry I'm a bit tired, but we need some food enrichment items. So let's go for species, let's go for American bison, and then we've got some ball feeders out here, these herb center markers. I think we already had some of those, maybe not. A grab a ball. What that? What is that? Oh, right. That seems like a toy. Well, we want food enrichment, so we're going to place some food enrichment items. You know, some of these balls they can feed themselves from and play around with. I think it's literally our only food enrichment item, right? These herb scent markers. Do these count as food? I think they count as toy. Well, we get it to 100% this way, and that will make them happy in regards to that, I hope. Other than that, nutrition, last meal quality wasn't too great, which is kind of annoying. I don't quite know how I can improve the meal qualities. I'm not sure we ever learned that. If any of you have a clue about that, let me know down below, would be great. Other than that, terrain seems to be great. Plants, 98% coverage is also quite nice. I would love to place more plants in this thing, to be honest, but they don't really want many plants, so maybe we'll have to leave it sort of open like this. The one thing I did see just a second ago, though, is that the barriers are slightly damaged and need a mechanic. My mechanics are really not up to snuff, but we're going to call a mechanic for those barriers, make sure that they are going to be good. Those barriers here are at 84%, which is nice. These are at 85%, which is also quite nice. And if you'll also remember, we did extend these out a little bit in the last episode, because our little baby bear had somewhat slightly escaped on his first few days in our zoo. So he's now back in there nice and snuggly and hopefully safe. And, well, he's hopefully able to chill a bit. But that is then all the kind of animal enrichment out of the way, I think. Let's just check through that all these bears here, wherever they're chilling at, are happy too in terms of what they get. Meal quality also not too great here, so that's maybe something we'll have to find out about. As I said, let me know down below if you know, otherwise I'm going to try and find out myself too. View from the Timberwolf from here is not great at all. We will indeed need like some viewing platforms for these guys or something. So that's going to be an interesting task that we need to take on eventually. We also are missing something here apparently. Hard shelter. Oh yeah, right, because we kind of have more Timberwolves now, so I guess we would want some more shelter for them. So we could probably, well, we will probably have to actually extend that out, and we also want more toys, because like the wolf population in total has kind of increased, I think. I'm pretty sure I got a new wolf when our one old wolf died, and we have like 1 or 2 babies in here at this point. So the population of wolves overall is actually going up, so we'll need to take care of that. So let me get rid of the American bison part here real quick. Let me go to... was it Timberwolves that they were called? Timberwolves, and maybe try another block of ice? Maybe I also didn't have enough toys to really satisfy them even more. So maybe we will have to just head on there in terms of our research, but we'll definitely take care of the feeders real quick. Not the feeders, the hard shelter real quick instead. And I think I'm just going to place that right here, but that would kind of mean that I should probably extend my barriers out here a bit. Can we please, yeah, have a null barrier? I would kind of like to build some more barriers though. Can I do it like that? Okay, I can apparently somewhat do that. So we're going to kind of extend that to like out here and around there and close that back in right there. And then we should be able to remove these other parts right here. Just like that, without hopefully getting any alerts of, oh boy, an animal has escaped. Because I'm going to have to terraform here a bit and actually put in the hard shelter right there. And I think while we're doing this, we're probably also going to extend this to out here. Because if some of the wolves run around back there, it's going to be a huge alert all over again. And people are going to be screaming, oh no, the wolves have escaped. When in truth, they haven't. So I would really like to get that sorted if possible. That said, it's a bit complicated. So we'll do it around here to make sure that that works for us, and then we're going to go and get rid of this part of the barrier here, and yeah, that should be things nicely taken care of, I would hope. Let's hope none of the wolves just end up yeeting themselves off the cliffs and running out and visit us. That would probably not be the best thing for the park. But with that said then, let's go and reshape the terrain out here a bit. I'm going to go and get the sculpting tool. Sculpting? I can't sculpt in here. Okay, we're gonna leave it that way then. I don't really feel like rearranging all this. Like, I like the way that I've kind of arranged this, and I would really just have liked to sculpt this out a bit, you know, make a bit of space in there, get a hard shelter, maybe even make it a little bit of a cave for them, you know, because, well, you know, sometimes there's just caves in which wolves live, so I thought that was going to be quite fitting, but no, unfortunately not allowed in this scenario, so no terraforming for us at this moment in time, but that at least makes them happy all then. So now, looking at more things though, I think we've kind of got two options here for today's episode. For one, we need more habitat species in the zoo, which I think we'll take on in a later stage. We need to exhibit species in the zoo, which I'm really considering to do that, because I think it would be kind of an easy and quick thing to do. You know, we could just place like an exhibit up here maybe, and maybe one along here when the visitors come up, and people can actually go and look at it, and could be nice and interesting, you know. And then maybe we start designing like some sort of viewing platform. I've got no clue how it's supposed to work, how we're even going to construct it and all, but I would really like to try it overall, I have to say. So maybe something interesting right there. For the exhibit though, I really liked the way that I saw exhibits when we did the African park. I think it was in Madagascar or something, right? There were these exhibits which were just standing on these wooden platforms that were built, and I'm kind of thinking the way that these wooden platforms were built, it was just very wide very wide paths, and then on top of the paths, things were built. So I'm kind of looking to see if I can recreate something like that here. So I'll just build a path here into the abyss, basically. Go to, is it facilities? Small animal exhibits. And just place an exhibit down, and it doesn't seem it lets me place that on the path, which is kind of annoying, because I would really like to get something like that going. I'm unsure, though, of how that would be working. And also, I really need these two tooltips here about how to actually move things properly. That's the one thing that I'm really missing from Planet Coaster, is there was always these tooltips of shortcuts, like how to turn on and off, angle snap and everything. What? I don't know how I just did that part, by the way, but like, how do I turn off and on angle snap? Let's find it out real quick in the game controls. But that's like something that I really am missing a lot. So I don't know if anyone knows how to bring that back up. Would very much like to hear about that. It's spacebar apparently, so that's the way we are going to be able to turn that on and off. And there we go, beautiful. Now I'm really not satisfied with how I cannot just place that on a path, or you know, like the way that I really want to set this up is I want to enable people to kind of walk all around it, check it out, you know, not just check it from one side, but actually get it to a place where people can walk all around it. And I'm not quite sure how that would work. Like, we've got architecture here, but I'm kind of thinking that I can't make like walls, roofs, floors. Like, if I put a floor, right? Plaster wall floor, and I sink that into the ground. Like, people can't walk on top of that, can they? Like, I would like to just give people the ability to check these things out, and I've got no clue how to set it up that way. Like, I want paths around this stuff. We've got, like, paths from the right, paths from the left, but can we not just, like, I don't know. How would we make that work? It's like these design options that I just don't know how they work in this game. The game never really quite told me about them either. So I'm kind of struggling to understand how I can now do some of the things that I already saw in the campaign, which I thought were quite marvelous, but I have got no clue how it actually got to function. So I don't know. It's honestly quite unfortunate, but I think we're gonna just have to leave it like this for the time being. And well, I'll get rid of this stuff probably for now, because I kind of don't want these things to just be around there if they don't have a purpose. And if any of you know how I can do that, how I can like place this on top of a path, or like place paths around it nicely so people can walk all around it, check it out, please let me know down below in the comments. I would very much appreciate that. That's, I think, some bigger part of this learning process that I'll probably have to go through in terms of how this is all going to work. Because, like, there was this beautiful setup with all the viewing platforms and everything in Madagascar, and I really loved that idea. And that's also kind of what I want to base my viewing platforms off of. I just don't really quite know how to make it work the way that it worked in that instance. So we'll start like this. We'll have an exhibit here, we'll put an exhibit down there, and we'll worry about the decorative parts after. So, facilities then, we will put an exhibit right here. As I said, we've now got the angled snap nicely turned off, which is beautiful indeed, and that is going to be a second exhibit. Now what we're going to have to worry about is actually what animals we want to exhibit right here, and let's check out the market for that. So I would like to once more kind of pick something that fits the region kind of nicely. Death adder. Pretty sure that that's not really a thing in, well, Canada or wherever this park actually is. Frogs. Goliath frogs? I'm not sure Goliath frogs would be a thing. Sounds like they're pretty darn big for Canada. Definitely not a thing, definitely not a thing, definitely not a thing. I mean, there would be some sorts of snakes, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not sure which ones. So that's a hard one. That's already the end of it. I don't know. I think we're going to go with the frog, because it's like for a start at least, because that's like one of the more remote things that's probably going to work. You know, that's probably at least going to be one of the more fitting ones. I'm going to get a male and a female frog, I think. Both of the ones which are bronze level here. And then we are going to go and send them to their new exhibit right here. So number 1, and where's my trade center? There we go. Number 2. Both of these guys then going to this exhibit right here, and that's now nicely kind of prepared. Now we're gonna have to work on the exhibit though, because you all know that we have like the ecosystem that we actually need to go and configure, and we'll have to find out how to actually configure it. So we've got the climate here, temperature being too low, so we probably want to eye something more like 21 degrees. 26 to 32. Okay, even tells us. So we're going to go eye 28 degrees. We're going to go get the humidity to about 80%, which is of course more than in Canada. So as I said, they don't really quite fit in that either. But that's going to check off the first 2 things. Now, what else? Temperature, humidity should be good. Layout is going to be another important part. And I think the layout oh right, we got to actually research that. So I guess, given how long the bears are already there, the bears come first. But we'll have to research that in just a second, whenever that is done. And that should be everything that we need for their welfare, probably. We can close windows and stuff if we really wanted to, but I think it's kind of nice like that. You know, in theory, it would make sense to close the back windows, because of course nobody can see them from there. But I still want to go for that kind of idea if people can walk around it. I just don't know how. Let's try this again. I can't believe that that's not just something you can rather simply get to work. Like, what happens if I put a path here, if I put a path there, if I put a path there, and I just connect them all up with some weird stuff? Align to grid? Build paths on a 4-meter grid relative to a building or path. Oh? Oh? I think I found it? Well, somewhat. Can I now go from this? And no, okay, not quite. But like, that's more getting me to where I want to go. That's something. This is going somewhere. I mean, this is interesting for a start. Now that the question is kind of how am I going to... Like, I can do something like this, I suppose. Oh, no. I can't terraform it. That's like... It's not ideal. But it works. People can now look at it from behind. Okay, I think I'm starting to get it close. So I did not see that option. I think... we can maybe do this a bit better up here. Like, if I go to paths, and I say align to grid, And I want this grid here. Beautiful. Then I kind of just have an issue with this, which is interesting, but like the align to grid thing is honestly kind of very intriguing to me, because in my mind I can do something like that, right? I can just go out of the path mode. Can I edit this? I can move this to here. No, because there's already a path there. So if I remove that path right there, right? And I go to move this thing to here. Now this doesn't count as a path anymore for some reason, but I'm sure we can fix that. Right? Align to grid? That? Boop? Boop? It doesn't really connect here, which I think is due to this thing creating its own path. Maybe if we rotate it, like I would want to get rid of that piece of path there probably, so that this path here is kind of being counted as what we connect to. So it's a bit messy still, right? It's not quite working the way that I wanted to, but I think that is not necessarily due to me doing it like 100% wrong, but more due to me starting off wrong. Because I think I probably need to place this thing first without any path being closed, then put a path around it, and then connect that path up to this. But it's nice, because like basically what this means in my mind is I can just place a building somewhere, like this, align that path to a grid, and just start building paths all around it, and people can freely move around as much as they please. Like I can just go here, and do that, and just extend this ever further. And that is kind of what I wanted after all, right? That was my idea. Now, that's more of an experiment thing here, of course, because this is not really quite how I wanted it to do. But it's kind of going there. And it's usable in the way that I wanted it to be usable, which is nice. And I think this is exactly what we needed to learn for this viewing platform stuff and other things, and that is really why I want to be in this game mode with you guys, because we can just learn these things together hopefully, and all learn a bit more about how the game works and how you do these kind of design parts. And well, I think we've just found a very important part right there, so that should hopefully be good. Now we've got these guys down here though, and we will need a second exhibit. Let me actually go play here for a second till like humidity and, well, temperature doesn't seem to be fixed, actually. Humidity and temperature are where they need to be. Okay, the temperature is still increasing, so that's going to take a minute, I suppose. But whenever they get there, it is hopefully already going to be fine. And they're already... Is that them? Where are you going? Doesn't seem to be them. Is it them? Where? Who are you abducting, huh? I think she's just abducting an animal. Timberwolf. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, right. That's a new Timberwolf we got for the family. So beautiful right there. But the froggies are potentially already in there because everybody's looking at it. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah. Hello. There they are, our little guys. It's not that big, so I suppose it's somewhat fitting, except for like the temperature, humidity, and everything that makes that a little more African than anything. But you know, it's our first exhibit and we wanted one, so there we go. Now let's go back to the exhibit animal market though, and actually take care of getting another exhibit going. Kind of considering these. They're all female though, which I would like a combination of male and female. But I'm just kind of considering to get snakes because I've got no clue. I mean, we could go to Zoopedia and actually just find out, I suppose. Yeah, Western Diamondback, USA and Mexico doesn't really quite fit. We're going to check those out, though. Puff Adder, Sub-Saharan Africa. And we have got... Where's the other one? The Common Death Adder. Eastern or Southern Australia. Yeah, so... I guess what comes closest, right? I guess what comes closest is just gonna be not the Puff Adder, but the... Where you at? The common death adder? No. Which one was I looking at first? The western diamondback rattlesnake. I've got a yellow anaconda too, but I'm very sure that is not even close to North American. This thing here, though, well, somewhat North American at least. And, well, I know that, like, smaller, non-poisonous and non-dangerous snakes are somewhat, well, not common, but are a thing in northern regions too. So, I think having a snake is kind of like the closest to fitting that we can put into that exhibit. So we're going to go and view the animal exhibit marker, and we're going to go for the western diamondback ones. Now that is sort of the wrong way around though. We're going to grab a... Wow, you're young. 0.8 years. Jeez, okay. Now we're going to grab a 6.4 years old female, which is going to cost us some of those units, but that's fine. We're going to get a 5.3 years old male snake. Could have actually gotten that one. Too late. Got that one already. So we're going to send them to out here, and you can see it's a bit deserty, so it really doesn't quite fit in either, unfortunately. But that's just the goal that the game gives me at the moment, so that is what we are going to be going for. Animals not in ideal humidity range 4 times. Okay. Keeper cannot reach exhibit possibly due to your work zone setup. Oh yeah, right, that's an issue. We're going to have to fix that in just a second. Now, for a start though, let's go and change temperature and humidity in here. We are going to need 24 to 30 degrees, so we're going to make it like 27. We're going to need 40 to 60% of humidity, so we're going to make it 50%. And that should at least be that fixed. Now, the frogs in theory should be all happy though, so I'm not quite sure why I got 4 alerts. I got 4 alerts for 2 snakes. Oh yeah, right, low welfare. Okay, so that's probably hopefully going to fix itself in a second then. Dangerous fighting for alpha status American bison. Me no likey, please stop. Don't kill or hurt yourself, alright? Cool, cool. We're going to also have to see if we need more hard shelter here eventually, I suppose. It seems they're fine though. So that's nice, that's beautiful, that's good to know. We've got the snake in here now. The work zones, which I already completely forgot how to set up again. I think that was in here. Let me see. We've got work zone 1, work zone 2. Exactly here, the work zones. So, we've got work zone 1, 2 habitats, 6 buildings, 1 staff room, which is this one up here. We will go and add that exhibit to this work zone. And then we're going to go to work zone 2. We're going to go and add that exhibit to that work zone. And that way we've got those covered. We can't forget about that. We need to add exhibits to work zones now that we've actually started setting them up. But beautiful. Okay, so I think we're going to end it off today on that note. It was more of a learning episode, but I think we've made some valuable learnings. We've also moved a bit further along with the campaign progress here with the 2 exhibit species now checked off the list too. Next episode then we can hopefully maybe look at getting another species that complements the bisons well, because they do want interspecies engagement anyways, it seems, so that would be a nice option. And I think we're going to look at designing some sort of platform now that we know how this works. I hope we can get that going. Let's see in the next episode though. For today, I'm going to end it off right here. I hope you all enjoyed the episode as usual. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. It does always help out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider subscribing right down below, as well as hitting that bell icon to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. And with all that out of the way, I hope you all have a great weekend. And I hope I'll catch you all in the next one very, very soon. Thanks for watching, everyone. Ciao.